Oh man, we are on and popping. Welcome to episode 9 of Watermelon versus Pumpkin. You might notice a slight difference. You might notice there isn't a watermelon. Hashtag non-racial. But there isn't a black man here with me today. The band didn't break up. Don't worry about it. We're still together, tighter than ever. Still heterosexual life mate type style in the building. Things happen, y'all. Both of us work 2 jobs, got things to take care of. The man, Young Pastry, this week had a lot on the table, had to take a week off. It's all good. We're still here, still in the building. So unfortunately for you and unfortunately for the world, for the people, it's just pumpkin today. It's like if you go to Thanksgiving and there was just one dessert. That's all there is. So for today, even though it is still the Watermelon versus Pumpkin podcast, today for episode 9, unfortunately, it is just pumpkin. But we try to bring y'all content every week, regardless, and hopefully, it never happens again, or far and few between will it happen. But, 99.9999% of the time, it will be Lil Mattress and Young Pastry in the building. So we thank you for joining us / me this week, episode 9. We appreciate the listeners that we have so far. We've been doing pretty good, man. We're almost at 200 total downloads, and, for just a starting podcast, it's nothing to sneeze at. We appreciate everyone that's listening. Got a couple of far out listeners, couple in Japan, couple in the UK, which is pretty cool. Listening on the different applications out there. You have to excuse me, I got the phone to list off a couple. Where you can listen is Stitcher, iTunes, Apple Podcast, which is iTunes, all that. Simplecast, Overcast, which is one that I had found out about because a couple of people are listening on Overcast, which is pretty cool because we didn't even sign up for that. So that, I guess, is something that's aggregated and perhaps picked up on. Big one that we just got this week, Spotify. All our episodes are up on Spotify. You can stream everything on Spotify, and it's a beautiful service. Also, hit us up at www.watermelonversuspumpkin.com. That's the hub. All the episodes are there, and it's a beautiful thing. Also, quick plug for myself. Let me take a sip of this Schweppes. Quick plug for myself. I also am on another podcast called 3 Piece and a Biscuit with 2 of my buddies. And it's a similar style to this one. There's 3 pieces and a biscuit. So if you search on YouTube, 3 Piece and a Biscuit, you'll find it. If you search on Facebook, 3 Piece and a Biscuit, we're out there as well doing our thing. So check that out if you get a chance. Now, as I take a sip of the Schweppes, the pomegranate, I just found out that LaCroix is just fucking seltzer. I tried it. I didn't know because there was some hype around LaCroix. People were trying it. People were loving it. All that stuff. I didn't know the shit was just seltzer. I grabbed a 6-pack or maybe even a 12-pack in Walmart for like $3.50. I take a sip. I'm like, what happened? How did people just discover this and are losing their minds over it? Seltzer's been around. But as a white person, you just get mad at things. So it's kind of how it goes. But it was an odd thing because I've been hearing about LaCroix, even rappers rapping about it, shit like that. It's just seltzer. My grandfather's been putting seltzer in, cranberry juice since. So it was interesting. But as we move on, if the voice is a little bit different, if the voice might be a small amount, not as strong as it should be, yesterday had the upper endoscopy, upper endoscopy. Think it's the fourth one. Digestion issues, no joke, no fun. Uh, so that went pretty well. There's irritation in there, all that. I have trouble swallowing. Pause. Trouble. Basically, it's the whole. Say you try to take a pill, and that shit just stays there forever in a day. So they got to go in there, open things up, dilate, take the biopsies and shit like that. So it's a beautiful thing. But man, the stuff that killed Michael Jackson, propofol, that's what they give you to put you to sleep. It's like a 10, 15-minute procedure. And propofol is amazing. And you can see why, if you have the money, if you have a doctor on call, if you have a doctor that works for you, why you would fuck with propofol heavy. If any of your kids, if any kids by any chance listen, don't do illegal stuff. Don't get your hands on propofol. But man, I'm talking about, like I said, it's about a 10 to 15-minute procedure. But when they put you out with that shit is serious. I personally have sleeping problems as it is, going back since. Been a night owl. So I've tried different stuff. I've tried the melatonin, the other sleeping pill that I can never remember that you have weird fucking visions on. But man, for a person that doesn't sleep much, to be able to, because a lot of running thoughts, a lot of my mind doesn't stop when I lay down. So, I'm that type. Excuse me. Have the TV on, stuff like that. Kind of constantly going through the phone. Gotta consciously put that down. But man, propofol is like, if you had a button on you where you could just be like, "Hey, I want to go to sleep." Boom, press the button. I'm asleep. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, man, that was just a beautiful experience. You always do have the nervousness of the Michael Jackson situation, which they stopped telling people. The first upper endoscopy that I did have, I had the guy come in and explain to me, "No, what we're going to give you to put you to sleep is propofol, and it is the stuff that killed Michael Jackson. But listen, he was using it wrong." And it's like, man, off jump. I don't need to know that. I don't need to know that this is the stuff that killed MJ. But I guess it was perhaps around the time of his death, and they were, trying to clear up stuff if by chance people heard it. Great nurse this time, caught the vein first shot, put it in. And man, I like to try to stay hooked up to the bag of saline as long as possible, because if you look on your bill afterwards, that bag of saline that they're putting in you is like $250. So I like to try to stay hooked up to that thing like until it's out. Like let that suck that dry and, get those fluids in me. Man, I remember when I got my last endoscopy, I had the endoscopy and the colonoscopy at the same time. Once again, pause. I don't know if anyone's ever had this happen to them. The nurse went to, set up the IV, and she put it in my skin, then started digging for the vein. I've personally never done any intravenous drugs. I never tried any heroin. I remember in 7th grade, it got weird when everyone was like, "You try H? You try H?" Yo, it's heroin. We don't have to say H. Calm down. But damn, man, I've had some nurses before that, like that one was the worst, where, you're going to be put under and you want to make sure that everything that happened was correct, because like I said, man, she put it in my skin, then started digging around for the vein, and that shit was bunk. But this time, the nurse was great, man. It's a beautiful thing whenever you have to get blood taken or things like that, when they just, oh, boom, got it, first try. It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, man, digestive issues, no joke. Passed down from generation upon generation to myself. I've had heartburn like since day one. Hashtag you don't need to know this, but this is what it's about, man. We just talk about things and we do stuff. But yeah, man, I've always been jealous of the people like my brother. He's one of those. He's maybe had it like 3 times in his life. Me, I drink a bottle of water, I got heartburn. This shit is just out of control with me. Not feeling it. The whole IBS situation. That's a beautiful thing. Can't tell you how many times I've dropped trow and dumped on the side of the road. I've had cops roll up on me. I remember when I was living in Bristol. I was working in the morning, like working like a 7 to 3 type shift, and I used to know where all the liquor stores were, not because I drank, but because sometimes in the morning when you got the whole stomach thing going on, you might have to pull over and let it fly. And for me, it was there's nobody at churches and there's nobody at liquor stores in the, morning during the week, usually in the parking lots. So, things got dumped there at times. Once again, hashtag you don't need to know it, but sometimes we tell it. So yeah, man, I don't understand how people didn't understand that LaCroix was just seltzer. Onto that. Upper endoscopy, still feeling it. They have you gargle with this stuff that's numbs the throat. Once again, pause. I'm out of control. Then they throw the camera down the throat, try to figure out what's going on. And the weird thing is, like, there's some people that want stuff to be wrong with them, which is fucking mental. Like, there's people out there that they would love to. One of the reasons that Lil Mattress is not on Facebook, I'm on Facebook in terms of I have a Facebook, I don't want to say fan page because even the word fan is just corny, but like I have a Facebook page that you could like if you chose to. And I don't have a personal page anymore because people got fucking crazy on Facebook, man. It just got weird with, what was big 2 years ago was, OCD. Everyone had OCD. Oh my God, I made my bed this morning. I have OCD. Like, oh my God, I took a shit and I wiped. I have OCD. I'm so OCD about things. Like, I washed my hands after I took a dump. I am so OCD. It's a weird thing, and it's just one of those attention things that people want and people feed off of now. It's that like mentality where if somebody does something without posting it, without getting a bunch of likes, it's weird, man. I think that's almost like how they say sugar does the same thing to the brain that cocaine does, or lights up the same areas that cocaine does. I think this attention is doing the same thing, man. I think this attention probably hits that. This social media attention probably hits that same spot in the brain where people just they go fucking nuts for it, man. That, like I said, that that's the reason why I don't have a personal Facebook page anymore, because just the a lot of that people, like, if you can take a selfie in a hospital bed, you're probably all right. You know what I mean? Like, if you can take a selfie outside of a hospital and be like, yeah, man, about to go inside the hospital, just see if everything's okay. Like, you're probably okay. If you can take your selfie, then like, if you have the if you have the presence of mind to post it on social media, then you're probably okay. Now, me, I'm a person where I like everything in my life flows through humor. Just everything in my life goes through humor. So I'd gotten my gallbladder taken out a couple of years ago, and I personally used the situation in the hospital as like, I saw it as a scene where I can shoot a skit. You know what I mean? Instead of like, man, I'm out, because people will be like pretending that they're fucking dying. Instead of being like, man, I'm out here. Oops, sorry about that. People will be like, man, I'm out here. Pray for me. Hashtag pray for me. People love getting prayed for. I saw it more as a scene to so I had my mom hold the camera. I was like, Mom, just point the camera at me. Sitting there in a gown and shit, and just like I cut a promo about that I just got out of, penis reduction surgery. Like that shit to me, that's how I saw the chance and that's how I saw the opportunity. Because I just see everything through comedy instead of being so serious about everything. But there is the yin and the yang where like I like to see things through comedy, but then when people act dumb, that anger could pop up. But man, people love there's people who love like being sick. There's people who love like there's people who want to be in a fucking wheelchair. Like they would love to be in a wheelchair because people would then pay attention to them, people would treat them differently, and that's some weird shit, bro. Or like pretending OCD was a big one. Pretending that you have OCD, that was fucking bonkers. Like, why are you pretending that you have OCD? Fuck, man, I forget the other one. Oh, actually, Uber just hit me back. Sent me a message. Let's see what the Oobs got to say. Uber said, shine your light on Uber. Got me with the extra $5 for waiting at McDonald's for way too fucking long. I'll explain. I'm going to go into some Uber and shit like that later. But another sip of the Schweppes real quick. Try to keep it lubed up. But yeah, man, people are mental with that shit. It was OCD, and there was another big one that I can't fucking remember, but everyone was self-diagnosing. You know what I mean? Oh, anxiety is another big one too. We'd be like, no, I just, no, I have anxiety. When anxiety is real, but being nervous is also an emotion that normal human beings go through. So that can actually happen. But yeah, man, there was OCD and there was another big one. But anxiety was another one too, where people pretend that they have anxiety attacks and shit too. But here's my thing. If you have anxiety, you wouldn't brag about it. If you've ever had an anxiety attack, you wouldn't brag about it because you feel like you're going to fucking die. There's nothing cool about an anxiety attack. Like there's nothing to write home about. There's nothing to tell people about. One of the reasons I stopped doing music live is because I would get panic attacks and it wasn't fun. I would get anxiety attacks and it wasn't fun. I take medication for it every day. But it's weird to see people try to brag about things that fuck up people's lives. Like it's not a fun, cute thing to go through, But shit is on. Shit is real. People are fucking weird. I'm sure there's a bunch of people that, hate the way I live my life. Yeah, man, but that shit, that pretending to have diseases, like pretending to be sick, or there's people, like I said, they'll take like a cell phone video outside of the hospital, like about to go inside and see if I got cancer, and first off, that's the unfollow or the delete immediately, but there's a certain part in that person, whoever it may be, there's a certain part in those type of people that actually would want cancer or a diagnosis like that, so then people would pay attention to them, and that's fucked. Like the attention that would be craved in that situation is fucked. And it's weird talking about attention while I'm shooting a video cast for the podcast right now, which you would want as many people to listen to as possible. So it's there's the dichotomy, there's the yin, there's the yang of there's attention whores out there, but then obviously everyone wants their voice to be heard in every single situation. So it's a crazy back and forth. It's a crazy yin and the yang. But people are psycho in general, man. People are crazy in general. There's we're animals. We're fucking like we're just animals at the end of the day, beginning of the night. Speaking of psychos and all that shit, the guns. Let me get a sip of the Schweppes. Keep it hydrated. The guns are a big issue, of course, because people keep clapping up people. And I don't know what the fuck the answer would be to that. It seems like you have to be pretty mental to shoot somebody. Like you would, I mean, unless, of course, there is the whole, like, there's the self-preservation, there's the protecting oneself, there's self-defense. And then certain things could turn you into that what you never thought you could be. Like, I'm sure there's situations where, hey, man, guy walks in, somebody's fucking his wife, ba-boom. Are you mental? Who knows? Maybe you're mental for that second. Maybe you're mental for, but with the mass shootings and shit, it's a weird thing. And I don't know why it happens just here with, obviously that there's shootings in different countries and shit like that, but I don't know why it happens just in the U.S. as much as it does. I don't know our mental records to where I don't know if we have more mental people than other countries. I'm not sure what it is. I know obviously the movies and shit are the same everywhere. The music is the same everywhere. So I don't put too much into that in terms of like influencing, because you got to be crazy also if you're gonna, like, if you can't separate a video game from real life, then you got to be pretty fucking mental anyway, you know. Like, it's not if you can play Grand Theft Auto, because that was a big one back in the day. It was, oh my God, Grand Theft Auto, people are going to go out and do this in real life because you can do it. And some people do go out and do that shit in real life, but I don't know, man. If the video game is tipping you in that direction to where that's the reason why you did it, then whew, there's some weakness there. There's some real, like, follower in a cult type shit there where you couldn't get brainwashed that easy by a video game. That's you got to be stronger mentally than that, right? You would hope, but I guess some people aren't. But then, do you have to skew society towards the lowest common denominator to where, well, we can't make this, and not that it's sophisticated, but I'm going to use the word sophisticated. It's like we can't make a more sophisticated product because maybe the lowest common denominator doesn't know how to deal with it, or it might trigger someone. That's a big word, man. People love to get triggered nowadays. But yeah, you would hope that you don't have to change the way everything goes because of a small percentage. But then that small percentage does wild out and shoot people. But you also have the then you also have the other side of the coin of, is it really happening the way people say that it's happening, to where even in the newest Florida shooting, people are talking about they heard more than one shooter, all that stuff. And I don't mean as in heard more than one shooter as in, well, we heard there was more than one. No, like there's students saying, yeah, they were shooting from over there while somebody else was shooting from over there. So, I mean, you never know. The conspiracy game is fucking weird. The conspiracy stuff, I believe, is wrong a lot. Like, for people in the media and for people that report news, they must love the shit out of Alex Jones, because perhaps he gets some stuff right, but the dude's a fucking nut that's just screaming with his shirt off. And like, even if you're right, even if fucking Newtown didn't go down the way that they said it did. And I'm not talking about kids not dying because it seems pretty obvious that kids died. But talking about Florida not going down the way that people said it did. And it goes back to the old adage of it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So if you're perhaps speaking calm and trying to provide some facts or try to provide some different information, speaking in a calm manner, presenting stuff, you might have people respect you more than taking your shirt off and fucking screaming it. But then also, you might get more attention by taking your shirt off and screaming it. So, who knows, man? It's a weird fucking thing. But I don't know the answers. No, I don't think anybody knows the answers. It's a weird situation to be in. It's a weird thing that when the white kids do it, you know, they're mentally ill. When the black kids do it, they're fucking violent gangbangers. When Spanish or Latino does it, it's fucking immigration problems and on and on and on. It's I don't know. I think the Virginia Tech shooter was some sort of Asian, Chinese, somewhere Oriental in there, and I don't know what they blame that one on. Maybe video games and shit like that. Who knows? But yeah, man, shit is weird. We live in a crazy time, but I'll tell you, man, I'm perpetually, I'm 34 years old, and I'm perpetually stuck in the 80s. Like, I romanticize the 80s like crazy. Like, I wish I could live in the 80s. Have you ever seen that Black Mirror episode with the two girls that fall in love? And when they go back to the 80s, it's just like, oh my God, that's where I want to live. So if that technology ever came out, that's what I would do, man. I would go back to the fucking 80s. It's a beautiful thing. Right now, we got too much technology going on, too much of that shit happening. But what I was going to get to was just the craziness of everything involved. And I have a crazy theory, too, about just different. Now, to me, this doesn't apply to a normal human being. To me, this applies to the weak-minded and perhaps the mentally challenged of people who do act out and people without common sense. I work 2 jobs. At my 40-hour-a-week job, I'm afforded where I can watch Netflix a good amount. So I run through, I won't watch anything that has like one season because literally I can go through it in, a couple of days, and then you're waiting to, what was the one? The Marvel girl that's beating the shit out of everyone. It might be Jen something. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I made the mistake of watching that, and then like 3 years later, now season 2 is coming out, Like Glow. I love Glow, but Glow fucking, I watch that shit over and over because I'm a wrestling fanatic, but so now I'm geeked out for season 2. So I try to watch things with a lot of seasons. Like I just finished up Californication, which has 7 seasons. So that lasted me, a good month or so. So that was a beautiful thing. But what I'm getting to is I'm watching a lot of movies and a lot of TV series, more than I ever have, actually. And the thing that I notice, which I don't know if it, like I said, with a normal person, I don't believe that this is influential. But most of the people that commit crimes and stuff like that aren't, quote, normal. So in TV, in cinema, in all that stuff, 99% of the time, if somebody goes to kiss somebody else, it happens. And this shit is weird to me because by no means am I any type of Casanova shit like that. But there have been times in my life where a woman has tried to kiss me that I did not want to kiss me. And to me, it was an easy thing to move, to duck, to dodge, to rebuff the advance. Schweppes. And in any movie, in any series, any TV series, any Netflix series, any, it's not particular to Netflix. That's just what I stream on. I'm not saying that this is just their thing. This is for all the TV that I watched. It's when, like, a girl doesn't like a guy and he kisses her to where somehow she can't duck, dodge, or move out of the way 99% of the time, because there's slight times, like Karen on Californication, she definitely blocked a couple of kisses, but she's in the very, very small minority of that. But when a guy tries to kiss the girl and the girl doesn't even like the guy, the kiss somehow always happens. And even if it's the girl that doesn't like the guy, it's still like a 4-second kiss. Then they break apart, and then maybe the girl will get angry, or then maybe the girl will be like, oh my God, you shouldn't have done that. But I feel like TV has made it out to be this, like, this thing that if you kiss a girl, she all of a sudden becomes entranced of, well, I can't stop it. He's kissing me now. And if I stopped him from kissing me right now, or if I dodged his kiss, that would be rude, or something like that. So what I'm getting at is, I think this might have formed some people's minds in that sexual aggression, in that sexual advancement that could be unwanted. And I think it's just because it's what they've, like, kind of seen this behavior forever and are imitating this behavior. It's just my theory. But because these past the 4 years that I've been at this new job, I've watched more TV than I ever have. I've watched more movies than I ever have. And it's just one of those lines that I noticed that goes through it's the same in every fucking movie. It's kind of how, like, people don't say goodbye on the phone in a movie or in a TV show. Like, it's always just fucking, you gonna be there? You gonna be there? Like, you didn't say bye? You're not gonna, okay. So just everyone knew it was time to hang up. I might be completely wrong. You always have to leave room for that, where, hey, I might be completely wrong. It might just be something that I notice and I'm like, I noticed that, and it doesn't influence anybody at all. Who knows? But to me, it's a weird thing that nobody can ever not get kissed in a fucking movie. Nobody can ever not get fucking kissed in a TV show, regardless if they want to be kissed. And then even if they don't want to be kissed, it's not necessarily a sexual assault situation or rape situation. It could be the high school hallway where the fucking girl doesn't like Jeremy, but Jeremy decides he's going to kiss her anyway, and then somehow they get locked in a trance for 4 or 5 seconds, and then, and then either she falls in love or she, you're an asshole, you shouldn't have done that. But there's no dodging it, there's no blocking it, it's just weird to me, because like I said, I'm not attracted. I don't see myself as a conventionally attractive person, but I've been able to dodge kisses, you know what I mean? So, that shit is weird to me. And I hope that it's not, obviously it wouldn't be the blanket reason. And like I said, to a normal person, I don't believe that this would affect and influence them. But the people that are committing sex crimes aren't normal people, in my opinion. They're, obviously they got a screw loose if you're going to try to fucking rape someone or all that stuff. Yeah, man, just a weird there. Just, you got stuff that you see and that you notice as a thread throughout everything. And, the shit is fucking weird. 'Cause just like the gun thing, why I have no clue why we do it, man. I'm not saying that we're the leader, because I don't know the stats on it, but man, sexual harassment seems to be popping, like rape and all that other shit seems to be popping in the U.S., which is a fucking weird thing, man. And I'm not saying that, movies and TV are the, root of that cause. I don't know what the fucking root of it is, man. I think they need to make prostitution legal. Like, You want to fuck something, or you want to get your dick sucked for 40, 50 bucks, whatever, and somebody else wants to do it for 40 or 50 bucks? I don't know. Who's getting hurt in that? That'd be interesting if they ever let that happen. Especially because things are getting lifted, like weed's becoming really legal in a couple of states, and it's becoming medicinally legal in certain states. So it'd be interesting to see if slowly other things follow, whether it be drugs, whether it be prostitution, things of that nature. All the things that the Christian mind would believe leading to the apocalypse and revelations and shit like that. But yeah, man, that would be interesting. And the weed thing is big too. The weed thing is interesting because I have my medical card. I'm smoking on Scarlet Oil by Curaleaf at the moment. Sativa blend. No, actually, I think this is just a straight up sativa. I think the rainbow oil is the blend, and then the blue oil is indica dominant. But I enjoy it, man. I'm not a, oh my God, if everyone just smoked, like, how many times have you heard that after, yo, man, if everyone just smoked fucking weed, everyone would be fine. I don't believe so. I'm not into it like that. I'm not into the, there's people that go with the, hey man, my shoulder hurts. Well, if there's a strain of weed for that, blah, 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 blah. I don't think like the world needs to be saved by weed. I believe it should probably be more legal than it is in certain states, but then you also get into the impaired driving situation. What's the correct age that you can smoke weed? Is it the same age that you can drink? Is it the same age? Like, that shit is weird. Yeah, who knows, man? It'll be really interesting moving forward. Like, I couldn't have imagined when I was a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid experimenting with weed and, trying it out for the first. Oh my God, you guys got some? Let's try it. The funny story, actually, the first time I ever smoked weed, I was in the Boy Scouts, which is real interesting. We were in some hotel for some getaway, and yeah, man, I smoked some weed out of a bowl, and I remember my chest hurt, and then ate some pizza and went to bed. It was not too thrilling of a story, but what are you going to do? It's just a pumpkin podcast today, so not everything's going to be that thrilling. But yeah, man, there's some people that are fucking weed all day, man, weed all day, and man, I like to take a couple tokes at the end of the night. I don't like to do the high all day, every single day thing. That seems to dull me out. I like to use it as a relaxation at the end of the day thing. Like tonight, like I'm shooting this at like 3 a.m. I get out of my normal job at 11, go to the gym at like 12, get out of there at like 1, fuck around, do whatever. Sometimes smoke before the gym, doing some cardio, shit like that. It seems to almost kind of just like distract or focus, whichever one you want it to do, But it kind of like makes the gym time go quicker. And I like smoking at the end of the day, like I said, as a relaxation thing, kind of instead of alcohol. I don't drink alcohol. It just digestion issues and shit. It just doesn't vibe with me anymore, man. Like I remember being young, you could drink a fucking half a fifth, wake up the next day, everything's fine, man. Now, I think like 2 years ago, I drank a beer, like I felt it the next day, where I wasn't hungover, like ready to die, nothing like that. Not, telling God I would never drink again. But I remember I drank one beer, and the next day, it was just that little tinge of like, oh, yeah, I'm kind of like dried out. Like I definitely drank a beer yesterday. It's fucking weird. But yeah, so in Connecticut, they have the medical marijuana, and that's what I got. And there's a litany of things that you can actually have to get your card. Um, I've heard all kinds of stories. I've heard that it's super easy and super hard. The experience that I had was pretty easy. I wanted to get off of prescription pills that I was prescribed. Like I wanted to get off of the Xanax. I wanted to get off of fucking Lexapro, all this other shit. And I won't say the doctor's name, but my meeting went pretty well, man. My meeting went like, hey, I don't want to take this stuff anymore. I'd rather try something else. And I'd rather try a natural option if I can. Not that I'm like some organic freak, but it was that, hey, man, these prescription pills seem to be doing bad stuff. Dude, when I started prescription pills, I gained fucking 20 pounds in a month instantly, just like boom, like start taking the pills, whoop, balloon up. That shit is not cool. Plus so many other side effects that are just no good. I was on, because I tried so many, I don't remember even which one it was. It might have been Prozac or something, but how they have the Schweppes. How they have the thing on pretty much all prescription pills about how there could be suicidal thoughts. I forget which one I was on, but I remember having those thoughts, but they're not. And I guess in certain people they would affect differently. But for me, it was like, oh, there's that thought. That's what they're talking about. There's that. That's the you may have suicidal thoughts. Like it was never a, oh my God, I'm going to do it. Oh my God, I need it. It was just like, there's that thought that they're talking about. Huh. Yeah. It was almost like you could look at the thought, see inside of it and sort it of like, huh, yeah, that's the suicidal thoughts that they're talking about. But never would ever be a situation of like, oh my God, I have to act on that. Like it was almost, you could tell it was an artificial thought. It wasn't a real thing. So my doctor was cool about, hey man, you don't like the pills, try this instead. So I've been doing the medical marijuana thing for a little bit over a year. And like I said, man, I enjoy it. The dispensary situation is odd. I think they're still trying to figure that out. Like you can't, like you can use cash, you can use debit. You can't buy anything with a credit card because I guess, they learn trial and error of some people would buy with a credit card, then like cancel the credit card. And it's like, man, it's fucking weed. You know what I mean? Like doing shady shit like that is just going to get you fucked over and you won't be able to buy weed anymore. But the prices are cool. I like buying the pre-fucking loaded sticks. They're 100 milligrams, like $17. They last me a while. But like I said, I'm not an every day, all day smoker, so it is what it is. I don't really like the flower too much. I just feel like every time I would try to smoke it, I would get like almost like a lung high. I wouldn't like it, but different strokes, different folks. There's bars there. But yeah, man, the dispensary situations are interesting because it's, like unmarked building. Then you go through the one door, you give your ID, then you give your weed ID. Boom, 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 buzz you through the next door. Boom, 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 buzz you through the next door. Then you get there, and, they got the menus and everything like that. And I've never tried any of the, what's it called, the concentrate, the shatter, stuff like that. It's just because I'm also, even when I used to drink, I was never like, I was never like, let's go. Like I was kind of, man, let me drink. I've definitely been drunk plenty of times in my life, but I was more of a man, let's drink to feel good, not drink to like lose our fucking minds. And I'm the same way with smoking. Like, I'm not trying to get the highest possible, you know? I'm not trying to hit my head on a fucking cloud. For me, it's kind of a chill out vibe thing. But yeah, man, they got the concentrates, they got all that shit, they got the flowers, they got the pre-rolls, they got the bombs, the salves, the sprays, the strips, the pills, everything. I was making my own pills for a while, the coconut oil and shit. But after a while, your body just kind of gets used to it. And edibles hit you in a different way than smoking does, obviously. So I found what I like. But another funny thing about the dispensary is there's, it's a place of business. There's a bathroom in there. But after you make your purchase, they don't want you to take anything into the bathroom. Obviously, so, people don't smoke or anything. But when you're a slightly decent human being, it's weird to see. You're like, oh, yeah, a piece of shit would do that. Like, a piece of shit really would buy weed in a fucking dispensary, then run in the bathroom and, like, start smoking instead of, going outside, going in your car, going home, going wherever. But, yeah, man, it's a trip. Just my 16-year-old self would never think, like, man, you're going to be able to go into a store and buy weed. Like that was always that was just not something I thought was going to happen. That was more of a, hey man, if maybe one day I go to California and try it out. But yeah, man, from what I understand, California's got the just stores anyone could walk in. I believe Vegas has the same type of shit. So it's cool that it's moving that way. I'm going to try to I smoked weed at fucking WrestleMania last year. I went to WrestleMania, had the little vape pen. I mean, we're sitting up in the nosebleeds. It's whatever, but man, it was fucking WrestleMania. And if I ever told my like 15-year-old, 17-year-old self, like, hey man, you're going to be able to smoke weed at WrestleMania one year, like, I mean, no, I wasn't supposed to, but still that I did. I was, it was bugged out. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where the weed thing goes. Like I said, with the whole, how do you judge the intoxication of a person on weed? Like if you get pulled over for erratic driving and you're driving, quote, on weed, on the dope, on the stuff, on goofballs, like how do you judge what's too much for who the fuck knows, man? It's going to be it's going to be a weird situation. But yeah, man, hopefully more people get to enjoy it. Because also, they're trying to stop it with because I have a license for weed, I can't get a gun. And that's odd, to where people could be alcoholics and drink all day and, get drunk. And if they don't have a record, they can get a gun. Like me, I smoke some weed at the end of the day to relax. I can't get a gun. It's an odd thing how they're, because I think that's still the, federally illegal versus the states can, it's not illegal in the states, but it's illegal in the feds. And I don't know if that, for some reason, that crosses over. I'm not sure. But I know that I can't get one, which is an interesting thing. But yeah, who the fuck knows? It's an odd thing. But yeah, man, like I said, I want to look into stocks for weed, man. Like I'd love to find like the Marlboro of weed that's coming up, and who knows what it is. I have to do some research. I'm not sure if say one brand is out in front of the others, because I've been trying to learn slowly about the stock market. I've been trying to learn slowly about the Bitcoin thing, because I read a quote that was like something to the effect of, if you aren't making money while you're sleeping, then you'll never be rich or you'll never be able to retire, something, in that vein. And yeah, man, I believe that because it's the whole thing of who knows if Social Security is going to be there when I make it there, willing if I do make it there, hopefully I do make it there. But I'm trying to plan, try to go in different situations, trying to plan and go different routes. I know this is usually a just talking podcast, but man, if you don't have a retirement plan, fucking start one, man. If you don't have a 401k, start one. Shit. But yeah, I'd like to try to get into the stocks of find the Marlboro weed out there. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure. Like I said, I know Curaleaf's a brand. I know TheraPlant is another brand, but especially right now, it's in the infant stages of if it's only legal in a couple of states. Shit, if you buy low, sell high, if you can get in now, and then if it pops to all 50 states and then all of a sudden everyone could buy it, think of it like if you could only buy Coca-Cola in Connecticut and everybody wanted to drink Coca-Cola, and so you can get in on the ground floor of trying to invest in Coca-Cola and be a, not part owner, but, own some type of stock in it. And then they start selling Coke to the other 49 states. Shit, man, it could work out well. But hey, everyone else who smokes weed is probably thinking the same thing. So who knows? But yeah, man, I'm trying to do some research on that. I bought into the Bitcoin, and I don't mean bought in like I'm all in. I put all the money that I own. Like I put like $250 in Bitcoin, and I'm gonna see what it does. I'm not mad at it. A lot of people are mad at it. I know a lot of people bought it when it was at its highest and got real mad when that shit dropped. But I think that happened because a lot of people had already bought low. So then once it got to its highest, a lot of people sold and boom, dropped back down. So it's interesting, man. For my generation, I'm not at a job where I'm going to get a pension when I turn whatever the fuck, and I'm not trying to be. I'm trying to, I want to try to make my own shit. Like, definitely by the end of the year, I have my first house. I'm trying to do doing the shit that I feel like I should have done in my 20s while I was being stupid and trying to be a fucking rapper, And even when I was doing, like, the rapping thing, I was never all in on, like, yeah, man, this is going to be the future. This is going to be the thing that I'm going to do forever. It was just a good time with my people for the most part, but yeah, there's no retirement in my future unless I make it happen kind of thing with, like I said, man, I'm trying to buy my first house by the end of the year, and shit, man, every 2 or 3 years after that, try to get these investment properties and try to carve out a nice little niche for myself, see if I can make it happen, Pretty good about once I put my mind to it, like getting it to happen. Like I said, man, working 2 jobs now, doing the, and by the way, this is all hashtag, you don't need to know this, but doing the 2 jobs now, doing the main 40 hours and then doing the Uber Eats thing. And that's been nice for some just stash away money to get that savings up and get that savings up for the eventual down payment on the multi-family house and trying to get that going. Because, man, I know there's a whole generation of people out there that just aren't fucking... well, there's a lot of people that aren't looking forward to the future, as in aren't preparing for the future. And I wasn't preparing for the future for a long fucking time. But it's kind of that, try not to look back on the things that you might have fucked up on and try to look at the, hey, I'm in a space now where I feel like I'm doing the right thing, Because, man, I'll tell you, there's people that I see out there that are fucking 39, 40, 44, 45, and fucking still, like, rapping at open mics and shit. And if that's cool if that's what people want to do for, like, anything that you do for just enjoyment is cool, you know, like if that's how you want to spend your time. But man, I there's dudes that we used to play shows with that are like still out there trying to make it happen, which is cool if that's your thing. But man, once you get like 40 and 41 and 40, like, man, how much farther are some people gonna go with it? And man, maybe I'm just a person that I woke up and I wasn't obsessed with it anymore. Like I was having the anxiety problems and shit like that, and I just wasn't obsessed with music like I used to be. Like it used to be, all I want to do is make music. All I want to do is make music. I just love fucking making music. And it's not like that anymore. I still do enjoy making music. Like myself and Young Pastry, we have 3 CDs in the stash that we shot a bunch of videos for, and like it's just one of those, like, yeah, we'll get around to it eventually. We'll put some music out eventually. Like we have videos that we shot from 2 and 3 years ago that we just didn't put out. I mean, we will eventually. It's just I'm just not obsessed with it anymore, man. I'm more obsessed with the future. Put some Schweppes on it. More obsessed with trying to live a comfortable life eventually, you know? Because I know there's a lot of people out there couch surfing. Fucking, I'm not trying to pay rent for the rest of my life, you know? Want to get to a comfortable situation. A lot of people, I think they feel like they're like keeping it real by struggling and, I don't know, living that type of fucking life. And that's not what I'm about, man. I'm trying to move on and up to bigger things, and I hope that most other people would be too. Like I said, I know it's not usually an inspirational podcast, and I'm not trying to take it to too soft of a place, but shit, man, put some money away, you know? Start saving some fucking money. Own some property. That's what I'm about, man, is trying to own some property. Like I already have it in my head where I'm like, man, the day I buy my first house, I feel like I'm gonna just go butt naked in the kitchen and just like snow angel, nothing. Just I'm longing to feel that experience. I think that'll be a serious thing that I'm looking forward to. Let's see what else we got on the docket. Yeah, man, invested in. I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to learn. Always trying to grow. Invest in the stocks. Invest in the Bitcoin. All that stuff. Doing the Uber Eats, and Uber Eats is funny, man. The Uber Eats is like my boy Young Pastry turned me on to that, and Uber Eats is like feast or famine sometimes, but mostly a feast. I'll try to do it in the morning before work a good amount of the time. And then I used to be on some shit where, man, I was getting out of work at 11, driving down to New Haven for fucking drive for 4 or 5 hours, get done at 4 in the morning type shit, hit the gym real quick, get out of there at 5, come back home, shower, try to go to bed just to make some money. And it was kind of the working harder, not smarter thing, man. Now I got my nice little plan down where I know the spots to go to. I know the area that I like to drive, man, because I was doing New Haven for a while, then I was doing Bridgeport for a while because Bridgeport has a lot of colleges, so going out there and delivering. But then you go to deliver to a fucking college and you're most likely delivering McDonald's, which McDonald's is the worst fucking place that Uber has ever partnered with, ever. So then you're picking up from McDonald's, which you never know how long it's going to take them, which is the weirdest fucking thing because I could go to a McDonald's, order food, and they would probably have it ready in like 2 or 3 minutes. For some reason with Uber, you get there, you let them know, hey, yeah, man, I'm here for Uber. I've been at a McDonald's for 22 minutes before waiting for food, like, and without a crowd, without a fucking, without a long ass line. And you're just confused, like, how the fuck is this taking so long? And I still don't know to this day how the fuck it takes McDonald's so long to rock out an Uber order. Regardless. So a lot of times in Bridgeport, it was you're picking up an Uber order. It's from fucking McDonald's, which you never know how long you're going to be waiting in line, because some McDonald's will let you inside. Some McDonald's you got to wait in the fucking drive-thru. On a Saturday night, a McDonald's drive-thru can get serious, So then you pick up the food. Then most of the time in Bridgeport and Fairfield, you're dropping it off to a college, most likely to someone that's impaired in some sort of way, that has no clue where they live, So you're driving around on a college campus trying to find them, annoying as fuck. So I pretty much stopped going out to Bridgeport, pretty much stopped going out to New Haven. Now I just stay in. I can't give away my area, but now I just stay like in a certain area, which is pretty fucking sweet. And honestly, man, if you're down to putting the work, it's a good, like, I make between $200 and $350 extra dollars a week just doing that. And maybe I'm doing 15 hours at the most, but yeah, man, it's some good money, and it's a lot of money that I've been able to, stash away. But yeah, McDonald's is the fucking worst. Like, if I can vent real quick. The other day I went to pick up from McDonald's, and this is the thing too, and this is how Uber gets you, because they know everybody hates McDonald's, so you have a rating system on your app with the percentage of orders that you accept, and if it goes down past a certain percentage, then you won't get the orders and all that stuff. And then if you accept an order and then cancel it, that's another thing that pops up that doesn't look good. And then your approval rating, all that. And if your approval rating drops below like 85% or something, then you can't drive for them anymore, something like that. But man, McDonald's I went to, unfortunately, I got some nights I'll have a great night where I'll never pick up from McDonald's, where I'll get orders from Dutch's, I'll get orders from Popeyes, I'll get orders from pizza places, orders from bars, shit like that. And the weird thing is, at every other place where it would take a long time to cook the food, when you get there, for the most part, the food is ready. When you get to McDonald's, it's, oh, we had an Uber order? I didn't even know. So the other day I had 4 fucking orders from Uber. From McDonald's. And if you wait at a restaurant for longer than 15 minutes, Uber will throw you extra money. Like, they throw you like an extra $5 because you just waited for fucking 15 minutes for some dumbass to make you McDonald's. And also when you get there, you know what you're supposed to pick up. So I had 4 different orders. The first order I get there, I wait like 11 minutes for the fucking order. So that's horrible, because you wait 11 minutes and the delivery, obviously everybody lives close to a McDonald's, so the delivery is never far. Driving for Uber and Uber Eats, it's the farther you drive, the more you get paid. So it's always like just a quick like $4 or $5 when you've already driven there from wherever you've driven there from, and you waited 11 minutes in the restaurant. And you wish that they just took a little bit more time at that point, because if it's past 15 minutes and you get the bonus, wow, that. So there's that. Then the next time I go back, it's a 21-minute wait. And I have resting asshole face where, like, they think that I'm steaming mad. And I'm not happy, but I don't move around a lot. Like, I'll just sit there and just wait. And just wait. And, you get the apologies and apologies and apologies. And then the next 2 times I went, they tried to give me somebody else's order. And it's fucking just like, how is this happening? And it's funny, man, because you get into the, like, real aggravated in the moment. Like, in the grand scheme of things, it's fucking nothing. It's just a little amount of time, and you're making money, and you're out there, you're doing your thing anyway. But in the moment, when you have to tell Uber that you waited too long, so they'll give you the thing, and then they'll ask you what happened, and just writing in like, this is the worst fucking restaurant ever. Like, if it didn't affect my rating, I would never come back to this restaurant. These people are horrible. You need to retrain them. All that stuff. But it's just fucking funny, man. But like I said, McDonald's is the fucking worst. But then you go to other restaurants and you pick up and boom, instant. But yeah, the one story of McDonald's was, first off, they try to give me the wrong bag that isn't my food. And the only reason I know is because, like I said, on the app, it tells you what you have. So say if I have 2 drinks with it and they're just trying to hand me a bag and I'm just like, yeah, I know that that's not mine. So then McDonald's, I guess, is trying to up their food, like up their quality of their food. So they try to give me the bag. Nope, that one's not mine. And I guess McDonald's bakes their fucking cookies, which, once again, mind blown, because I thought everything was, microwaved or something done up real quick. So I've already been waiting for like 10 minutes. They try to give me the wrong thing. Then the girl tells me like, oh, you got cookies on your order. We have to bake the cookies. So that, like I said, looking back at it, in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing. But when you're in the moment, you're just like, oh, okay. And then, because they ask you like, we gotta bake the cookies, all right? And it's not my food, so of course it's all right. Like, it's not what am I gonna do? Fucking leave? I mean, I guess some people do, but it's man, it's weird out there. So for anyone that would like to drive with Uber, I suggest, if McDonald's is your first couple of orders, do a couple more orders before you quit on it, because I've known people that have done the Uber Eats thing for just like a couple of orders and just been like, it's not for me. But once you have some of those days where you make like $90 in like 3 hours and you're just like, oh, okay, and this was just delivering a couple of orders around, it's man, it's a good thing. It's a nice extra way to make money. Young Pastry turned me onto it, and I've been riding with it. The only thing, you got to pay your own taxes, so you got to be diligent about putting some aside for that, and you got to be which I know a lot of people around tax season are going to get fucked by that shit, because there's people doing the Uber for, oh shit, they figure the taxes are already taken out, even though they, express written consent, let you know that they're not taking out. You're a 1099. You are an independent contractor type shit. But yeah, man, it's been a wild ride. Like, the most I ever got tipped out was $90. I got my 3 highest tips are this. I got tipped $90 one time. I got tipped $50 one time, and I got tipped $10 another time. But yeah, man, some wild shit driving for Uber. And I didn't mean the end of this podcast to turn into a long fucking Uber commercial, even though, the code is down below if you want to click on it. But yeah, man, I thank you guys for tuning into this, only pumpkin episode. Next week, the week after that, and plenty of weeks after that, we'll be back to full strength, to Young Pastry and Lil Mattress, because at the end of the day, it's the beginning of the night. So we do our thing, man. I appreciate you for joining me. I appreciate you to listening to me rant about all this stuff. We write down a couple ideas on a piece of paper, or not shit, and nobody use fucking paper anymore, on the notepad on the phone, and just try to ramble off, and man, hopefully you people dig it. Now, once again, to close this out, you can find us on YouTube. We got the video cast, so we got you can see me 99.999999% of the time, me and Young Pastry sitting there talking to you. You can see it. Audio only, man. We got on Apple Podcasts, which is basically iTunes. We're on Simplecast. We're on Overcast. We're on Spotify for all your streaming pleasures. Man, if you want to download us from Stitcher, and you can also download us from www.watermelonversuspumpkin.com. You can go to littlemattress.com. You can go at Lil Mattress on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on all that stuff, man, at Lil Mattress, spelled Lilmattress. I am the pumpkin part of the show. My man Young Pastry, which you can follow him at Young Pastry on all of the same things. IG, Twitter is the Watermelon, no racist. And yeah, man, I appreciate you for joining us. Like I said, this episode was only solo because my man had too many things to do. I had almost too many things to do, but I just wanted to get some content out there for the people that have been rocking with us, and we appreciate every single one of you. So thank you again. At the end of the day, it is the beginning of the night. Peace.